again and welcome to another Articulate Outburst podcast, and obviously it's episode 55, following on from Sandwich Gate in the last episode. A little bit of comedy, lighten the mood a little bit. Sometimes you can get a little bit too serious, and at the end of the day fun's fun, albeit at probably one of my best pals' expenses, but that's by the by. I'm sure if there's anything of me in there, I'm more than happy to publish it as well. So getting back on track with the remainder of the album, obviously I go on about 1984 and George Orwell far too often and in far too many streams, and that's not because I particularly think, well, he's a great author obviously, but the more and more you read him, the more and more things that he said are coming back. It's almost like a call, like a chime from back in time. I'm almost also certain that there was a different characteristic in the human, certainly the British intellect, than there is now. I see it completely. I don't look back at the past and think they knew nothing. I look back at the past and think they knew a lot more than we do, and they certainly do. So again, 1984 is probably more of a project for me than an actual song, although it's a great song. He would say that, wouldn't he? 1984 is a big, so to conceptualise it for the studio, I really had kind of a lot of things to get off, not off my chest, but really wanted to be included in this because it's all too often a throwaway kind of, it's like 1984, it's almost become a kind of parody, and I really wanted to get back to the essence of the book, the essence of what was going on at that time, really the essence of how Orwell thought and how he wrote and what we're seeing now manifesting itself in our time. So there were 101 quotes that I wanted for this book, from the book into this song, and obviously as a songwriter you're kind of limited as to what you can achieve. So obviously we needed to get the kind of, it was a bright cold day in April and all the clocks were striking 13, which is the opening of the track. Also, you get the general idea when you read the book, and I can urge you all to go read it. It's an audiobook on YouTube. If you can't be bothered reading, you can plug your headphones in and have a good listen. That you get this idea of some kind of, where Winston works in the kind of the Ministry of Truth, obviously the propaganda ministry, where he's rewriting history for a living and putting positive spin on negative news and changing the way in which things are actually looked at. That you get this mechanical feeling going on, like there's, I remember back in the days when we first went shopping, when tills got full, cash would be put into a shuttle, be put in a pipe and then sent on its merry way to a secure room somewhere else in the building. Such was the level of, this is before credit cards and cash cards, I'm showing me ages now. And I wanted that kind of sound, that vacuumy, when messages are getting sent in a mechanical way. Remember, he wrote this in 48. Published in 49, so there'd have been no digital, there'd have been no file transfer protocol, it'll have all been mechanical, and I really wanted to kind of get the essence of that mechanical sound. So there's quite a lot going on in this video, and obviously I'm going to keep it below 10 minutes because I'm under orders from the rest of the band to keep it brief. So this is us dictating how and why. This is us going through the 1984 kind of recording process and what we've kind of done. So here you will see how we did the voiceover for the start of the song. Okay, see you in a bit.
Let me know when, Grant.
You should take a photo of all these things on the floor, it looks cool.
I will do, yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
We good, Grant?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go.
It was a bright, cool day in April, and the clocks were striking 13. It was a bright, cold day in April, and the clocks were striking 13.
A bit less Vincent Price, a bit more British upper class.
Okay. It was a bright, cold day in April, and the clocks were striking 13. Too posh?
No, not particularly, no, but if you keep going around there.
But yeah. It was a bright, cold day in April, and the clocks were striking 13.
I think
That's the cut. That's the one.
It
is. As you can see there's no limits to the skills of our producer. He used to do quite a lot of voiceovers on adverts, so as you can tell, he's he's quite adept at that, even though the Vincent Price analogy I don't think was far off. He nailed it in the end. And that's what I really wanted, that kind of upper class British accent. That's how the book starts, and I thought it was appropriate that that's how the song should start, to be fair. And it is a tribute to Orwell, and it's also obviously a mirror reflection on where we are today. So that was that. And we also wanted to get across that mechanical sound that I mentioned. So if we go to this next video, and I'll probably cut it and interject throughout. So yeah, listen to this. So we were umming and ahhing about what sounds to kind of include. So I'll be back in a tick.
It was a bright, cold day in April, and the clocks were striking 13.
Like a clocking card as well.
Yeah.
It was a bright, cold day in April.
I think the tape recorder wants to be, rather than it being a starting, it just wants to be a noise in the background, I'd say.
Yeah.
Just to add the kind of, add to the kind of ambience that it has. Just to like.
It was a bright, cold day in April, and the clocks were striking 13. It was a bright, cold day. It was a bright, cold day in April, and the clocks were striking.
Does that voiceover just need to be distressed a little bit, so it's
maybe.
it's kind of not.
It was a bright, cold day in April, and the clocks were striking 13. It was a bright, cold day in April, and the clocks were striking 13. It was a bright, cold day in April. It was a bright, cold day in April. It was a bright, cold day in April. It was a bright, cold day in April, and the clocks were striking 13. It was a bright, cold day in April.
Put Bell, I can take that down into tone if you want it to be a bit more dong.
Yeah, I think it needs to be, because it's not coming in as a bell, is it? It's coming in.
It's a till ring.
A little bit like a
Till
Tilden.
ring,
Yeah.
yeah.
Let me just find out when it finishes.
So as you can see, we settled on typewriters, an old tape recorder, the mechanical sounds that you'd expect from that period in time. The typewriters have obviously been grown, and as you can see, the magic of the producer putting it all together there, I just think it's quite a magical process. We're all putting our fourpenneth in, we're all contributing to what we're going to end up with. Opinions are varied. We as a band don't have a tendency to put a stake in the ground and fight for our position if someone's got a better idea, or they feel so strongly about it that it's a better idea, then we'll generally speaking put it in. You can get hung up on who did what, why and when as much as you want, but that's not going to get the song finished or get it done to any extent. And obviously after sometimes you can think, well, maybe it did, maybe it didn't work, but I've got to say we've got a great record of working well together. Chiseling out the work, which is what it's all about. And I think that the input from all of us is probably equal. I mean, I'm not in the habit of saying somebody's done X amount, someone's done Y amount, and someone's done Z amount. I just think everything is a collaborative effort. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. That's me 10 minutes up. Like, subscribe, share as much as possible. Got some more clips of the studio coming up. And again, thanks very much for your ongoing support. Much appreciated. Ring the bell, subscribe, as I say, trying to get up to 100 subscribers before the end of the year. That's my objective. So thanks again for listening. Your continued support is so much appreciated. Thank you.